Welcome to another episode of Business Inspired GY, where we inform and educate through knowledge. Today we are dealing with the concept of community bakery, and we are in the John Davis Bakery, which is located in Campbell Street, Albouystown. The concept of community bakery is not new to Guyana, but it has become rare with the many changes that have occurred over the years in Guyana. In years gone by, community bakeries existed in many of the old wards in towns. They allowed residents in those communities with large families to bake more while creating the opportunities for others to empower themselves financially. They mixed and panned off their breads, cakes, and pastries at home and then took them to the bakeries, where they were able to use the ovens for a small fee. Apart from offering those services, the bakeries did have their own clients. They had regular contracts, which saw them supplying government agencies in those regions where they were located. Owned by the Davis family, the John Davis Bakery was started by John Davis and his wife, Beryl. Today we are speaking with a grandson of the Davises, Lee Davis, and he will give us a brief history of this gem, which is still serving the community of Albouystown.
Hi, good morning. This is John Davis Bakery. It was started in the 19-something, can't remember, but my grandfather, who owned the bakery, started with 10 flour, 10 sugar, which was explained to me, and then from there he grew into this, what you're seeing in this enterprise, and he used to supply the prison, police, army, farms, hospital with bread until he deceased, and then we had it keep going until we lost some of the contracts. So after it went away, we still continue to do the subletting and still trying to keep the bakery going as per normal. But it still is a household bakery. I mean, a lot of people might know that it's still functionable because of where it's located and how most of the older folks that is in the community have moved out. But between me and my uncle, both of them, we still try to maintain it and keep it going. You know, till to supply the small bakeries like myself who ply my trade on Stabrook Market and other subletters who ply the trade Stabrook Market too and elsewhere. You know, some people who walk and sell, they could come and bake and do things. So we still try to keep it going. The oven is one of a kind. It's not the regular, we could say, the concrete furnace. This one is much more sophisticated because it's a top and bottom, and it's metal plated. The furnace, which is brick oven, which is brick, but it's run on steel rods, you know, so it's not easy to access. I think it's only two of they say they have like this in the country, but this one has been over 75 or 85 years standing, and it's still going strong. So, you know, there's most about it, but it keeps the little small community going.
For a period of time, you weren't living in Albouystown, but you returned to what persons would say foundation, and then, you know, basically took over this business that your grandfather had built. Lee, what has been the driving force of you returning to Albouystown to keep this family business alive?
Okay, after my wife was pregnant with my first son, I was 18 then, and you know, I wanted to be somewhere. My grandmother had passed away, knowing that we had an apartment here, so I decided to come back. So when I come back, at a point in time, I had a job at Fine Woods Marketing Inn, and it was a company that used to export wood, and it had a large base of male employees. So what I did, there was this guy who still works here a day like today, named Simeon and Alexis. They still make pastries. So I see a way of making a small, so I started take pastries and red cake from them and take it to the work site and selling, and the business was going fast. So after I start with that, then I said, man, you know, I could try a bread. So I decided I can start with a 10 pound of flour and a 10 pound of sugar. Same concept that my grandfather them start with, and I just started with 10 flour, 10 sugar. And from there on, as I work, I carry bread strictly on a weekend, like on a Fridays and Saturdays. and I would mix my own little bread. I get somebody to mix it me. At the point in time, I was just paying somebody for mix the 10 pound of flour for me, and I just take the bread on a Friday night. I would mix it Friday, Thursday night for Friday, and I would take like 10 bread, little 10 roll and so on, and I would make a profit. So one morning I was waiting on the guy, and he didn't turn up. So I was sitting outside, and Simeon was in the bakery shop at the said moment. And I said, Simeon, I just want you to give me the ingredients to a 1 pot of bread, because these were in bakery shop, it go by pot. So a 1 pot is 12 pound of flour and a 5 gallon, not 5 gallon, but 5 pint of water. So he gave me the calculation, gave me the ingredients for a pot, and from then on I just calculate if I wanted to mix 2 pot, what I'm gonna do, 3 pot, what I'm gonna do, and so from then on he showed me how to catch up the dough, and from then on I just went ahead and doing my own mixing, my own baking, my own making, and this is how I just end up, because it was already in my genes, so I just needed somebody to bring it out, and this is how come I went ahead with it.
For those who are now joining us, we are in the John Davis's baker shop located in Campbell Street, Albouystown. And speaking with me is Lee Davis, who is now part owner of this bakery. Before us are a variety of produce that you would have made.
Yeah.
Tell us, what do we have here?
Okay, we have tennis roll, which is real homemade side tennis roll, which is not just the ordinary sugar and water basic tennis roll. These have lemon oil, nutmeg, cinnamon spice, essence, the real homemade tennis roll. Then we have some whole wheat bread here. We have white bread here. We have whole wheat tennis roll here. This is creamer we have here. We also have some sweet rolls, which this consists of raisins, some fruits, but this is whole wheat too. We have some pine tart, buns. We have, all these are old time stocks. This is pine slice, which is, everybody know about it. We have cheese roll, we have red cake or Solara or rolly that most people know about, right? We have the bobby bread, So this is basically, we have also butterflap, we have whole wheat and white, because everybody now is health conscious. Some people will use white, some people will stick with the whole wheat, So this is basically what I produce, and take on the market to sell,
The John Davis Bakery has always been able, since its inception, has always created employment for persons living in Albouystown, and you have managed to somehow keep that going.
Yeah, there's most people that work here, or ex-people that work here, can give you a good rundown. You understand me? Most of them I know still alive, some gone elsewhere, just doing different things. How courteous my grandfather was, how good working with him was. So I try to still keep that. Because I'm not doing the large scale production that my grandfather did. As simple as you see this bakery shop here, my grandfather used to produce 100 bags of flour per day, some days, like weekends. You understand me? Like Friday, a day like today, they got to work round the clock, because they got prison, they got police, they got all these people to deliver bread for. So people working right round the clock. People wouldn't believe it, as simple as you see it. Bags of flour used to come out of this bakery. So with me now still here and other subletting, we try to, find jobs for the smaller guys on the streets in Albouystown. Some of them may come and get a little table and work. Once they know what they're doing, if they come and they could able to, help clean sheets or whatever, you understand, we try to provide a little employment for them. But we can't provide a steady employment for them because, one, we don't have a large contract. We depend on the day-to-day worker to buy the bread. Some people would buy one bread today, they mightn't buy tomorrow. So we have to be able to know how to think. So because of that, we're not able. My goal personally is to be able to produce a everyday work for youths in Albouystown, because I born and I grow here, I live here, I see what it is. You understand me? And I know once you have a business that can be able to, they ain't got to pay passage to go no way, or catch things that could come, the work, and when they're done, they're gone home, they get to lime, it will be able to help them. They're able to take them away from thinking negative or doing negative thing or thinking about crime. But I mean, everybody's just forsake Albouystown or forget. But good things still come from Albouystown. So that's basically we just try to keep what little employment we got to give the youths, we give them.
For persons who may be looking for a place to bake their cakes, pastries, chicken, and so on for the season, how do they contact you?
Okay, they contact me on 683-5748, or if they don't get me, they get my uncle on 662-0616. Most sometimes if you don't get me, you call him and he would call me and tell me, look, somebody's coming for bake, because sometimes I might be on the market or I might go on and mix or something. So they either call him or he call me and say, hey, look, they got somebody want to bake a 20 pound of black cake, or got somebody want to bake chicken. We just open up to the public, because most times, sometimes the baker shop work. If like how today's Friday, the other one of the sublet, which is Greeny, he can work tomorrow. Sometimes Saturday, somebody gonna come in for work Sunday. So somebody's always. So if the call and they say, look, we coming this day, we make available to either come and be at the baker shop. And if it's lucky, if nobody's using it at the set moment, we come, prep the oven, light it up, depends on what I got to bake. And the oven always got heat. So it depends on what as you can see how we set it right now, the heat is still in the thing. So, we always available to helping people, because we know not a lot of people able to go to some bakery and get a thing baked and so on, thing. So they just call me on 683-5748, or they call Junior on 662-0616.
And that concludes another episode of Business Inspired GY. And now you know where you can bring your cakes, pastries, breads for the Christmas season to bake for a small fee. The John Davis Bakery, located at Campbell Street, Albouystown.